So, are you thinking about selling your house? One of the biggest things that a seller is going to be looking for to have the most satisfying experience is going to be number one, finding as many qualified buyers as possible. They're also looking for convenience and getting top dollar for their home. But there's a problem, and this is something that everybody kind of runs into. There's over 9,000 agents in the Cleveland Akron area. So, who do you turn to? Most people know somebody who is an agent, but that doesn't make them the right person for the job. Some of the biggest complaints that I hear out there is communication's poor and experience is an issue. And obviously, if this is one of your largest financial assets that you've ever personally owned, you're taking a big risk. So hopefully I can help guide you through some of that today. So who am I? My name is Damien Baden, and I'm with EXP. I live in the North Royalton area, but I go as far as Avon, down around Hudson, Copley, basically about a 20-some mile radius around my house. I do focus on listings, and I focus on new construction. And I just want to share how I'm different than a lot of agents. Yes, most of us are going to put a sign in your yard. We're going to put it on MLS, which is going to go out to hundreds of different websites, as well as lock boxes. Sometimes we're going to do open houses, but those open houses aren't necessarily for your benefit. They're actually to help us generate leads. I'm happy to do them, but I'm not going to tell you that's going to be the main driver to sell your home. One thing you can realize with me is I have a no BS philosophy to where you're going to get straightforward answers even when they're hard. But my job isn't to be your best friend. My job is to be your guide, to reduce stress and overwhelm, and make you feel safe throughout the selling process. This is a very complex process. There's a lot of different hands that are going to touch your property. Roughly about 28 different hands will go through touching of your home. So where do I kind of thrive on that? Well, the one thing is I can negotiate through all the different things that we're going to run into. That's not just getting you the best price and terms on your house. That's from setting stuff up in the beginning, maybe pre-calling trades for you, making your life a lot easier. One thing that we all struggle to have is more time. So if I already have the connections and the access and I can save you time and eliminate frustration, I'm going to do that for you. On top of that, just managing fear and expectations. This is where a lot of people fail because they don't have the experience to do so. But if you're somebody like me that's been doing this for a long time, I started in real estate in 2002, you kind of have been through things and experienced things to where we can make your experience, even though it might be the first, second, or potentially third time, depending on how many times you've sold a home, we can still make it easier because we've been there and done that, and we can guide you through the right steps, set the expectations of what could happen, may not happen, but definitely making things a lot easier for you, once again, so you feel safe and not overwhelmed. On top of that, by having that type of experience, we can reduce any sort of seller risks. There's a lot of common mistakes that sellers make. One, overpricing their home, which we'll get to, but if we can help you avoid mistakes, you're going to be a lot happier. On top of that is just, one thing that I love is systems and checklists. I've been flying an airplane since I was 17 years old. And because of that, I've integrated all of those kind of practices and policies into my real estate business to where we're not just winging it, no pun intended, but we're keeping you going down a particular path at the right times just to make sure your experience is the best it can be. One of the first things that we'll start is just really understanding you, understanding why you're moving, what you're trying to achieve, so we can kind of set the best possible situation for you. And that'll go into like prepping your home for sale, going through checklists, making sure you're not missing anything, advising you not to do certain things that aren't going to get the return that you're asking for. That's one thing that my clients like. And a little secret, with my background that a lot of people don't know, I used to be one of the top sales reps in Northeast Ohio for new construction for about a decade. I've been through so many training programs on sales, the psychology of sales, and I've actually trained people, probably over 25, 30 people that I've actually trained to go through all that. Also, all the negotiations over the years. There's a lot of teams out there. There's nothing wrong with teams. I have more of a team on the back end, not on the front end. So biggest thing is when you're looking at my numbers or anything else, those are my numbers. Those are my sales. That's not my buyer's agent or 10 buyer's agents, a couple listing agents. It's me. So the good thing is real estate is a relationship business. and I'm going to have a relationship with you because we're going to be working through things together. I have people on the back end to help me so I can spend more time with you, but at the end of the day, it's a people business and you're going to be working with me. So, that's the other thing that you have to ask yourself is how do you bond and do you have the right relationship with that other agent? If you and I wouldn't get along for some reason, I would probably be the first to tell you this is probably not the best scenario for us. One thing that you'll find out though is I don't have a problem being liked by many people. So we should get along unless, there's certain things that would prohibit us from doing so. And we would find that out actually by talking probably in the first meeting that we have. Outside of that, and I'm looking through a checklist myself to make sure I don't miss anything here. My background being in new construction, I can point out a lot of stuff and I have a lot of trades and connections. If you need certain things to make your life easier, I did mention before pre-calling trades. I can't tell you how much that saves my clients time and actually just creates a better experience because they're not wondering if they're paying too much or paying, well, you're never going to pay too little because we don't live in that type of society. But also, when we get to listing your home, making sure we have the proper pricing and making sure we're not overpriced. I can't tell you how many things can go wrong when you overprice your home. Sure, we don't ever want to leave money on the table, but there's strategies in place to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward and not making mistakes like extended time on the market, making your listing become stale, making people wonder why nobody else is buying it, and then just doing price decrease after price decrease. If you price your home up front the right way, you're going to get the most money and the most attention, which is going to give you more offers. It's going to create more urgency, and then people will be competing against your house, and you're going to be able to pick the best price and terms that work for you. So that's one thing that we always want to focus on. Now, at the end of the day, if you don't want to follow my suggestions, I'm not going to make you. I'm going to give you my opinion because that's what you should be getting from me. But at the end of the day, it is your house. So, if something does go wrong, you're probably going to be, pre-warned before, which, at the end of the day from there, I can't really do anything about it if you chose to go a different way and things don't work out properly. We'll work through it. We'll make it the best situation we possibly can. On top of that, how I'm totally different than most people is my listing marketing is on steroids. I go after mass awareness, going after, outside of MLS, which is going to feed to Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, Trulia, all those big major websites. But, the thing that most people don't understand is agents aren't doing social media advertising properly or even digital advertising sometimes the right way. One thing about me and what I do is, sure, I might post something on my personal page or a business page, but the algorithm with Facebook is only sending that out to a few people. They're in the business to make money, and I actually pay for my advertising. I can easily and quickly get anywhere from a couple thousand people watching a video tour of your house. I can also get tens of thousands of people looking at your photos. And what's nice about that, that's just extra attention and urgency. It's shareable, like people can talk about it, and it's getting more attention on your home, which is what you want as a seller. Obviously, on top of that, where do we drive these people to? We put them on a personal landing page that has your photos, your video, your 3D tour. It's truly a virtual open house 24 hours, 7 days a week. And we have the proper stuff built into our websites. Even our Take One box, that's a virtual Take One box on the sign, gives us the opportunity to retarget and remarket to people that go after our information. And the good thing is the website that we run this stuff off of gets a lot of traffic, and it's focused on Northeast Ohio real estate. So, that's just another little advantage. And going through this stuff now is a ton of info. I don't expect you to remember everything, but I'm just trying to help you understand that I'm not just putting a sign in your yard. I'm not, putting it on MLS and just waiting for somebody to come buy it. Now, you do get a lot of questions right now. What are, the real needs of extensive marketing in today's, seller's market? And to be honest with you, who knows what you'd be leaving on the table if you're not giving it your best effort. If you're going to pay an agent to do a job and you have the opportunity to get mass marketing going on, and that's even with direct mail. Sometimes houses sell too quick to get the direct mail going, but the digital advertising is absolutely just something that will benefit you and help you. And it has done some great successes for my clients. One thing that I would tell you to do below this video, you're going to see two buttons, one for client reviews and then one for past listing samples. If you click on both of those, there's going to be a ton of information that you can learn, one about the reviews, what it's like working with me, but on top of that, if you click on the listing samples, you're going to see some information of, what we do a little more, specific and different. And then on top of that, if you actually click on the photos of the listings, you're going to be taken to those personal pages. They rank really well. And on top of that, you see all the different data that we're putting in there to help a buyer make a decision. The secret behind this is when people see all this different media about that home, they're now coming to verify it in person. So one thing that I found with a lot of my listings, we're getting more qualified buyers through the door. It is not fun running out of your house on a last minute notice to go let somebody see your house. Well, if you don't have a lot of looky-loos and tire kickers going into your home because they can see it all on this webpage, it's going to eliminate a lot of that. And what's nice is now you're getting people coming into your home that are wanting to buy it, and the fact that they see other people interested is just going to stress them out because they're going to want to make sure they get that home off the market before somebody else does. If any of this sounds interesting to you, please feel free to reach out. You can call me, you can text me, you can also email me. There's a contact form underneath this video, and I'll be happy to talk further, set up an appointment, and walk through your home. We do have a 50 plus item checklist that we use to prep your home. We have a seller's checklist, even a buyer's checklist if you're moving up or moving down. So feel free to just let me help any way I can. But next step would be is if you would like to set up either a virtual meeting or an in-person meeting at your home, I'd be happy to do so. I look forward to the opportunity of running your business.